the expensive TV habit most households don't realize they have. Before we get started, if you find this useful, hit subscribe. We publish a brand new report every single week, so you'll never miss a thing. Now let's get into it. Most households have a subscription they've stopped thinking about, not because they forgot it exists, because it's been on the bank statement so long it just became part of the furniture. This week's SpeckyTec report puts a number on what one of the most common of those habits is actually costing, and the figure will surprise most people who see it. Here's how the mistake happens. A few years ago, you signed up for a TV package. It made sense at the time. You were watching live television, maybe sport, maybe the kids needed it. Then streaming arrived, then on-demand became the default. Then you started watching YouTube more than anything else you paid for, but the TV bill never changed. The direct debit kept going out. And because it was familiar, because it had always been there, it never got questioned. That's not a spending decision, that's a habit. And habits, by definition, aren't made consciously, they just continue. Month after month, year after year, until something makes you stop and actually look at the number. Our report this week is that something. Spending 15 minutes with a SpeckyTec report before you buy, or before you keep paying, could save you weeks of frustration, a cancellation you should have made months ago, and money that won't come back. We survey the data, track the prices, and stress test the numbers, so the work is done before it costs you anything. That's not a luxury, that's just smart buying. Every week, the SpeckyTec team builds a buying guide report from scratch. We pull verified pricing across the US, the UK, and Europe. We map what households are actually paying against what they actually need to pay. And we run the numbers through our hours worked framework, so you can see the real cost of any subscription or product, not just the monthly price on the website. This week's report covers the television market, and specifically the growing gap between what most households pay for their TV setup and what they would pay if they made the same decision today with current information. The market has changed dramatically. The options available in 2026 are fundamentally different from even 3 years ago. But most households' spending hasn't kept up with that change. We found something specific in the data that most people, including people who are genuinely careful with money, won't have considered. It's not obvious. It's not the first thing you'd think to check. But once you see it in the report, it's very hard to ignore. We're not going to tell you what it is here. That's what the report is for. If you've watched our previous videos, you'll know that SpeckyTec doesn't just talk about prices in dollars, pounds, or euros. We measure cost in something more honest, the number of hours you had to work to pay for it. We did a full video on exactly how that framework works and why we think it's the most useful way to understand what anything really costs you. Link is in the description, worth watching if you haven't seen it. What we can tell you is this. When we ran this week's TV report through the hours worked calculation, the results were some of the most striking we've produced. Not because of the size of the number, but because of how invisible that cost has been for most households. Here's what we'll say without giving anything away. The saving identified in this report isn't about switching to a cheaper product. It isn't about finding a better deal on the same thing. It's about questioning whether a habit you've had for years still makes sense and discovering that for a significant number of households, the honest answer is no. The full report is available now through the SpeckyTec library, with verified pricing in US dollars, euros, and pounds sterling. One subscription gives you access to every report we publish, new buying intelligence every single week, across every major product and spending category. That subscription costs less than most people spend on television in a single day. Everything is at www.SpeckyTec.com, link in the description. Before we go, if there's a product, a service, or a spending category you'd like us to investigate, tell us in the comments below. Every report we publish starts with a question worth answering. Yours might be next. That's the full breakdown. If you want the complete report, with every model, every spec, and every price comparison, it's at SpeckyTec.com. A full month of reports costs less than one bad buying decision. Smart buying starts at SpeckyTec.com. Subscribe for next week's report, and we'll see you then.